94.8 XFM. Today is a hit music. It is about 17 minutes past the hour of 8. And this hour, since yesterday or the whole of this week, I mean, when the artists walked into Parliament and were discussing about things that make them happy, and I love to say that. And I was very contradictory on that whole thing about copyright law. And I know where I'm coming from because I'm a qualified lawyer, and I was very specific about saying that we already have a copyright law here. And I went head on heads with people like Alan Tonix, the B2C management team that was replying to me on their social media platforms. And I was like, hey guys, you have no idea what this looks like. You need to go to other countries and understand how are Kenyans making money, how are Tanzanians making money, how are Rwandans making money if we talk about copyright law. The truth is, there's not much money in copyright. In my view, the way I see it, Wilder would be flying a plane, Naziz would be probably driving a Range Rover, or things like that. That's my belief. It's just that you continue to earn money, but what is it? How are you earning money? Are you dividing it between you and your producer and everything? But anyway, those are the laws that I know around the world. As I'm also a lawyer, the way I understand the 2006 copyright law, the one that I know, and the one that is exciting people, I have a very different understanding. However, I have brought you a guest who is actually in the management of this music industry where, musicians, some, I'm going to use the word some, are getting some royalties. Others are not getting. I remember one time there's an artist who was actually quarreling and saying, they called me for 26,000 shillings after 2 years.
After 5 years.
And I said, but that's what you deserve, because that's what the law says. Now, in the studio, I have Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is working. You're now the chairman of UPRS, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you will tell us what UPRS is. However, many people, like myself, have known Yo-Yo as an actor. Of course, when it comes to copyright, it also catches actors, musicians, writers, graphics designers, and all these other things, people who put work together that is art in it. Many people are focusing on musicians, but it's okay. Let's look at that because maybe it's the biggest industry that is out there. Good morning, Yo-Yo. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you, man?
Not bad.
I'm happy you hosted me here today. Not to talk about specifically my music.
I was going to say, the last time you were here, you were talking about your music. You had, I think, a show at National Theatre.
Yeah.
We don't know how that went. But you tell us
it went well.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about you personally a little bit later. You need to tell me whether you're still acting or not, or now that you're in a big chair, you're making a lot of money. Anyway, Yo-Yo, let's talk about UPRS. Well, first of all, what is UPRS?
UPRS is a collective management organization. That's where I should start from, so that people understand the context. What a collective, because, say for example, you had in the new amendment bill when artists got excited because the law that clause 9 says that every broadcaster or radio station, whoever uses an artist's work, must pay them for each single time they use it. And then there must be a contract between the artist and the broadcaster, for every single use, and then practically the developed economies or developed corporate ecosystems already knew that practically that is not viable. It can't be achieved. Just imagine. Let me give you an example. Say for example, at XFM, on a day, you play around say 200 songs. That is in the 24 hours. And then out of the 200 songs, say those are 200 artists. But then even behind those 200 artists, what people know as 200 artists, each song has a list of beneficiaries behind it. Say for example, I could have sung, but then I didn't write the song. In that regard, people don't even know that I who sang, I don't own the copyright in that song. It is the writer who wrote the song that owns the copyright. What I have on the song are only neighboring rights. That is why in fact, the law is copyright and
neighboring.
yeah. So many people don't know. Even many of my colleagues out there who are artists, they think they own the copyright when they don't own the copyright. So they simply saying our copyright, when they don't own the copyright on a particular song. So you just imagine if on a single day you play 200 songs and you have to entertain here, say 200 songs, because the songs you play today, they won't necessarily mean that you play the same songs, the exact same songs the next day.
No.
Because your audience will then get bored.
Yeah.
Yes, because you'll become predictable. Sometimes you keep changing. So I'm just using this analogy to explain it. Just imagine 200 artists come here every day, and you have to pay them individually, do contracts with them individually, and then the next day is the same thing. And how much are you paying every artist, and are you making that money on a daily that the money is coming in?
Yeah.
So that's why the developed ecosystems, that's why they came up with the idea of collective management. And the first CMO, or the oldest CMO in the world, is SACEM of France. That is, yes, SACEM is the oldest CMO in the world. You can Google it. It was the first CMO to be made in the world. And why it came up? Because then it becomes easier, say for you as a broadcaster, to deal with one entity that represents all the others. That's why we collectively come together and manage our rights collectively. That is why there's an idea of a CMO. So UPRS is a CMO in Uganda. So you understand? Just as you have SACEM in France, you have BMI in America, ASCAP in America, you have PRS in the UK. In fact, many people don't know that UPRS actually came from PRS of UK. Because when we were still here with the colonial masters, it was PRS of UK managing corporate in Uganda. And when they left, we simply added the Uganda Performing Rights Society. But the one of UK is called Performing Rights Society. So you get, it's an old concept. It just not begin here. You know, these are well-studied scientific concepts that they work. But so that is what UPRS is. It is a collective management organization that artists come together collectively and manage their rights. So who owns the copyright? Who owns the UPRS? It is the artists
who own it.
Yes, okay. That's why I sometimes, get baffled when I hear an artist saying, those guys of UPRS, and you're like,
but you're the guys.
Which guys? UPRS, you are supposed to be you are the owners of UPRS because you collectively come together. That's why it's a CMO, collective management organization.
Actually, that now leaves me with an interesting question here to ask: is it a must that artists should be registered under UPRS? And if they are not registered, does that mean that they don't have rights?
No, they do have their rights, because copyright is an inherent right.
Yeah.
In fact, even these things over a year now, you hear that in the law, there is a contradiction in the law. Even the new amendment that has been passed, making it mandatory to register your copyright. No, that is against the money conversion, the principles of copyright. Yeah. Because copyright is not achieved in registration. No, copyright is achieved the moment you fixation, you fix your creation. That is a copyright, and it's an inherent right. So you have your copyright, but then our constitution says there is a freedom of association. You're free to become a member, or you want to go it alone and say, I want to enforce my rights single-handedly.
Okay.
Say, for example, you are yo-yo. You say, me, I'm going to go it single-handedly. I'll manage my rights. So you mean you're going to go to all the 300-something broadcasting houses in the country, collecting your royalties? Go to the over 650,000 bars all over the country, collecting your royalties. Go to all the hotels in the country, collecting your royalties. Go to all the gyms, go to all the salons. It's practically impossible.
Yeah, you can't.
You see? So that is why it only serves an artist's benefit to become a member of a CMO.
So does the UPRS have the capacity to go around all these bars? First of all, I am meant to understand that UPRS then has to collect the royalties on behalf of the artist, right?
Yes.
So it means that you can go around bars, saloons, radio
We
stations,
collect from
TVs.
broadcasting houses, just like radio. You have XFM. I'm happy to announce here that at least Vision Group pays
We
its
pay
annual,
UPRS,
annual license for corporated works. So this is not something new that the artists are being excited. We are being excited about.
It's already there.
It's already there. And then we collect from bars, we collect from hotels, from gyms, from salons, from gardens, discotheques. In fact, let me tell my brother here. Say he's a DJ.
It's an MC.
You're an MC.
No, this is a DJ.
Yeah, I know.
And that's an MC.
I know.
You know DJ Sisse?
Yeah, I know Sisse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was a DJ as well.
MC.
Now, okay. Now, DJ Sisse is supposed to acquire a license if he does say he's hired to do private functions and what have you, because he's getting an economic benefit from that music. Because when someone comes to hire him, that I want you to play at my
wedding.
On a wedding.
Yes.
You have a PA system and what have you.
Yeah.
Even if you have the best PA system in the world and you bring it and it does not produce the music, it's not what they hired you for. They hired you for the music. So you have you get money, and then when you get that money, when you go to that function, you don't play system music. You play music from Brown, from the Genzos, from the Yo-Yos, from whoever, you know. So it's their product you are selling, but then that's why we say that the good practice it should be that you also give back. It's just like you have a shop. You have a shop. You are selling sugar, okay? But where you get the sugar from? You go, you buy on wholesale price. You sell on retail price. It's that simple. You get. So
the system is already there.
The system is there.
So what is the challenge? What exactly is driving these musicians to say, no, we need a corporate law? What exactly is because I'm a very old guy. I tell these people I'm 54 years. I'm going to make 55 years.
Yeah.
I know.
Senior citizen.
Yeah. I know that Chameleon sold his albums long time ago.
But not the new ones, the previous ones.
The previous ones.
Yeah.
I know the Caferos sold their music.
Yeah, to Kasiu Kira, to Rossini, to
Chance.
Yes.
That's how we bought tapes. There were distributors, publishers, and everything.
Yeah.
So it means that the law has actually been there.
Yes, the law has been there, but then you know that even if it is in America, we always have amendments to bring it up to speed.
Up to speed with the latest technology.
Yes, and the current, because you know the current law that is there, the 2006 Copyright Act.
Yeah.
That is 2006. That makes 20 years.
Actually, 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
There are so many things that have changed. From there was no TikTok 20 years ago. There was no, social media was no, the consumption has changed, because 20 years ago we probably still used to buy music from tapes.
Tapes for a Walkman.
We went from the tapes, we went to the CDs.
Yeah.
And we've now evolved from the CDs. We went to the flash discs. Now from flash discs now. We are onto smartphones and gadgets and what have you. That's how we are consuming the music. So sometimes the amendments, of course, are necessary to bring them up to speed with what is up in play right now.
God. Anyway, but I still think that.
But then the principle stays the same. The principle is that fair remuneration, and by fair remuneration, it does not mean that an artist simply comes and says, "You pay me money." No. It should be equitable. It should be that you look at the user. Say, for example, I look at DJ Sisse, and then I'm considerate, and I'm like, why should I give DJ Sisse a license, say, over if Vision Group, say, for example, if XFM is paying its annual license at 2 million. I'm giving an example. Why should a DJ as Sisse pay a license over 2 million, or it is not commensurate to and perhaps it does this maybe 10 gigs, a few gigs a year. So you tell him maybe how about you pay a license of 120, 140,
I was actually going
and
to
then
come.
you know it's a negotiation.
Yeah.
I
was actually going to come to that, but you've preempted you've preempted the question, so I'm just going to go with it. How do you determine who pays how much? Okay, and that I'm talking about the people who would then pay for the music. As we bought tapes at 1,000. So I don't know how much went to the publisher. I don't know how much went to the musician. Either the musician has been bought out. That's it. That's his business. But today, how much is going to go to? How do you determine who pays how much? Number one, and if the person has been paid, how then do you know that the writer has to be paid this much, the producer needs to be paid this much, and the musician has to be paid this much? How do you collect that data?
Okay.
So that Daddy Andre walks into UPRS and says, Nze yakola oluyimba olwo nsaba zange.
Okay. One, first of all, let me talk about the beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries? At UPRS, we have 4 categories of beneficiaries.
Okay.
We have the composers or authors or
The one who's
writers.
writing.
Yes. And those are the ones on the musical side.
Yeah.
Or the copyright side,
Yeah.
the composition side. We also have producers, because sometimes the producers work in the Ugandan sense, the Andres.
The Andres.
They fall on the composition side.
Yeah.
And then we also have the performing artists.
The one who's now singing.
The singing, what people call the
musician.
the musicians.
Yeah.
Then we also have the publishers.
Those are 4 people.
Yeah, 4 people, because sometimes you find in a song, let me use an example. I have a Jeff Kiwa. Jeff Kiwa invests the money. He should have a claim on the song, where he has invested. He is the investor, because I hear on many occasions, we artists come to the public court opinion and simply castigate. You see, this manager is trying to steal my, it is me who sang this music and he's stealing my money. But then you didn't have the investment. What you had was the talent. So you agreed. This happens even in America. This is what record labels do. They sign you.
Production, promotion is very expensive.
Yes, it's very expensive. So they sign you and then they invest a lot of money in you to make you who you are. That is their investment, hoping they will recoup it, when you begin selling.
When you start selling.
Yes, that is how it plays out. So that one is an executive producer. So it too should be a beneficiary. So those are the 4 beneficiaries. Now, away from that, now you asked who pays and how do we
How do you track that?
How do we track that someone should pay, and how much should they even pay? I'm going to use an example. First of all, we do an assessment. By an assessment, first of all, we identify, we assess. By identifying, I mean, say for example, they walk into, where do you normally play on Thursdays, Sisi?
Thursday no, but Friday I play at Bandali Rice sometimes.
Yes. So our licensing agent, has to walk through, say,
Bandari Rice. There are many bars there.
Many bars there. So what I call the identifying. Then they will have to know this particular bar plays how many days in a week. Then after knowing, then they will walk in, and then before you say pay the license, walk to the responsible people there and get to ascertain, okay, how many days do you play in a week, say the number of capacity, what capacity does it, and then okay, how much does a bottle of beer go for here? Because in a bar, music plays a big role to the selling of the liquor. So that is why we ask all those details, say in a setting of a bar. And then we ascertain how much does a bottle of beer go for say there are spots in Bandari Rise, a bottle of beer is at 10k.
True.
But there are also, we have these makeshift bars, say in Nakurabye, where a bottle of beer goes for 3k.
Okay.
You see? So we have these different parameters when setting the tariff. Say for a bar in Bandari Rise that sells a bottle at 10k and depends so much on the music to sell, cannot pay the same license amount as this
small what boys, whatever boys,
Happy Boys.
Happy Boys.
But even then, Happy Boys could be in class B. It is not, and then but then there's also a class C.
Kafunda.
Below Happy Boys.
Hey.
You know, so those are 3 different categories.
Okay.
And then, so those are the parameters. Then, and the same thing also applies. Let me use, for example, radio. Radio here, you'll allow me. You'll allow me to say, for example, XFM and let me use XFM and say a competitor and say I'm going to use Radio Maria.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but that's a good comparison.
Yes.
I like it, yeah.
Yes. Radio Maria spends most of its broadcast airtime on Litter J and prayer. Yes. Little time of its broadcast airtime is spent on music. But XFM
plays more music.
Uses more of its broadcast airtime on music. So the two cannot have
the same
license. Yes. And then also XFM is a commercial radio station. Radio Maria is non-commercial because Radio Maria does not play adverts and what have you. No. So you get actually now in that scenario, Maria would be paying 50% of what XFM plays because it's non-commercial. But also look at the other parameter of how much of your broadcast airtime do you use on music. You get it.
Yeah.
So there's also that. We have 3 categories. We have those that are used 30 up to 30% of their broadcast airtime on music, paying a lesser license. Then we have the second category from 31 to 69, and then we have those who use 70% and above of their broadcast airtime playing music. Those pay the highest license fee. So we use those parameters. It's not that we just come and
say playing music is 20 million.
Yes, and then we impose. No, we even look at, but also the economic value that is derived from the music. We also look at, is this, say, a Kampala station cannot be paying the same fees as
the one in Kabale.
The one in Kabale. You find that even I know if MTN is bringing adverts here, it does not give the same amounts
of money as the other people.
Yes. Yeah. So we use those parameters to ascertain. I mean, that is how we do it.
That's quite a huge job.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's quite. Oh man, some big words there. But anyway, you know what, Yo-Yo? Let's take a break and we come back and talk more about these musicians. Is it a good deal or it's a bad deal? I would love to really hear that. I personally think it's a bad deal for breakthrough artists. Okay, maybe artists who are trying to break through, not breakthrough, but the ones who are trying to get into the industry.